My name is Prexa Modi, and today I'm going to be doing a presentation on a job called Dry Ingredient Scaler. What is the job? So here's what a typical day looks like for a dry ingredient scaler. Dry ingredients are things such as flour, sugar, or cornstarch. So first they have to grasp a liner and place the empty plastic bag into the bucket for every new batch. Then they have to cut open the dry ingredient bag, open with a knife, then scoop dry ingredients from a 20-kilogram bag and pour dry ingredients into another bag until the correct amount is reached in the bag. When the bag is filled with the ingredients as per the batch instructions, they have to lift the bag containing the ingredients with a power grabs into position for a twist tie machine, then place a label on the bag, then place the bag on the table. When the dry ingredients 20-kilogram bags are empty, the workers have to go back to the rack with the storage and fill up the cart with more dry ingredient bags and push the cart back to their workstation and place the new bags onto the table. Every hour, they have to sweep their workstations from the dry ingredients that have spilled on the floor. This job is done while standing for the entire period of time. So what is the problem with this job? The problem is scooping the dry ingredients from one bag and pouring it into another bag repeatedly for 9 hours of the day and every day for 5 to 6 days in a row is a big problem. So why is that a big problem? Because there is a strong, consistent evidence that physical factors of scooping dry ingredients and pouring it into another bag repeatedly for 9 hours a day can greatly increase a person's chance of developing an MSD because of the repetitive work and heavy lifting of the scoop with dry ingredients in the scoop. This type of job can be extremely strenuous on the body parts used to do the job, or this type of job can also aggravate an existing MSD injury and hinder the return to work process. Are there any MSD hazard / reports? Yes, in the past there have been multiple MSD hazard reports regarding this type of job duty, which include wrist pain, low back pain, and shoulder pain, which has been occurring to the employees at any given time while they are doing their job. Which MSDs are most likely to occur? These are the MSDs most likely to occur from doing the job for a prolonged period of time is carpal tunnel syndrome, Dupuytren's contracture, low back pain, medial epicondylitis, also known as golfer's elbow, tennis elbow, tension neck syndrome. And here are the pictures on the left, which shows how it would look like and where it would be located on the body part. What type of ergonomics is it? This is physical ergonomics. They're always standing while working and doing physical work such as scooping dry ingredients from one bag to another as shown in the picture. So in this picture, they are putting the bag in the bucket, then they're grabbing the scoop and scooping it from one bag and pouring it into another bag. Other physical tasks. These are more pictures of the physical work that is associated with the job, which employees are required to accomplish. So after they put the bags on the table, after they tie with the tie machine, when the dry ingredient bags are empty, they have to go to the rack where the storage is and put the bags onto the cart, which is shown here, and they push the cart back to the workstation and they put it onto a table and they have to cut open the bags like this. quick exposure check. The quick exposure checklist is a great tool to use because it assesses changes in exposure to musculoskeletal risk factor of the back, shoulder, arms, hands, wrists, and neck before and after an ergonomic intervention. It involves the observer who conducts the assessment as well as the worker who has direct experience with the task. So here's some background information regarding repetitive strain injury. So repetitive strain injuries are severe workplace health hazards that cause pain and suffering for many employees. These injuries cost society money in terms of lost production, compensation, and healthcare costs. According to Statistics Canada, almost 2 million Canadians suffered from a repetitive strain injury, severe enough to impair their typical activities in 2000/2001, with work-related activities accounting for 55% of these injuries. Currently, there is not any research or any statistics available during the recent years, but throughout the improvement and evolution of the workplace, repetitive strain injuries claims are probably lower than before. For this reason, on 29th of February, it's the perfect day to raise awareness about repetitive strain injuries because it's the only non-repetitive day of the year. So here are some solutions I recommend. Solution number 1. Use robots to do this type of task. Ordering a robotic arm which will pour in the ingredients inside the bag until it has reached the correct measurement. The price for the robotic arm will cost $70,000. Training cost will be $200 per employee, and there are a total of 25 employees, which will be $5,000. The maintenance cost of the robotic arm is $10,000 yearly. The solution will eliminate all MSD. The employee will no longer have to scoop from one bag to another. Productivity improvement. The productivity improvement is high, where it will speed up the entire process. They will be able to fill twice the amount of bags than they did before. Recommended solution number 2, ordering smaller bags when you can dump the dry ingredient inside the bag without having to scoop multiple times to get the exact measurement. So for instance, if you're required 500 grams of flour, they should order bags that contain 500 grams of flour, where you're not required to measure by scooping it from one bag to another. The training cost will be $200 per employee, where there are 25 employees, which will be a total of $5,000. The solution will only reduce some level of exposure to MSD. They will still be at risk of some of the previous MSD, since they will still be dumping the dry ingredients into the bag manually. Productivity improvement will be medium because it reduced wasted motion, since they will not be moving their arms in a repetitive movement as much as they did before, since the bags are pre-measured to the amount that is required to fill the other bag. The total cost for this solution is $5,000. Recommended solution number 3. Rotate shift every 2 hours, where the employees can do a different job that is not related to scooping. After 2 hours, they can switch again to scooping dry ingredients. The training cost is $500 altogether for all 25 employees. The management has to explain to the employees on how the shift will be rotating throughout the day. Effectiveness of solution. The solution only reduces amount of time the employees are exposed to the MSD. They are still at risk of developing an MSD, however, it is reduced from before. Productivity improvement. There will not be any productivity improvement with this solution. The total cost for this solution is $500. Direct cost associated for this MSD claim. WSIB premium, employee costs, wages paid to the employee on the day of the injury, wage supplement, continuation of benefits, wages of replacement employee, overtime attributed to loss of injured employee, absenteeism, wages paid to to staff on modified work, cost associated with modifying job, management time to follow up with an employee on modified work. More direct costs associated with this MSD claim would be other insurance systems, sick time, short-term disability, long-term disability, liability if others are impacted, legal, and consultant. Indirect costs associated for this MSD claim would be overtime, replacement wages, workstation and equipment modification, administration, training costs for replacement worker, lost productivity, reduced quality. More indirect costs associated with this MSD claim would be damage to the reputation, compromised quality of service / product, management's time spent on managing the MSD problems rather than on other productivity tasks, negative impact on staff morale and trust in management. Thank you. Here's the end of my presentation. These are the references I used.